Henry Cavill is back in the news and is the hot topic at the moment as his new movie is about to be released, The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, an action comedy that tells the story of the first ever Special Forces organisation formed during World War II by UK Prime Minister Winston Churchill and a small group of military officials, including author Ian Fleming. Henry's character is said to have inspired Ian Fleming's James Bond. And the irony or serendipity there is that Henry, of course, auditioned for Casino Royale all the way back in 2005 and lost out to Daniel Craig, just on the account that Henry was deemed to be a little bit too young. And he has been talked about as a potential replacement for Daniel Craig, although the fact that he's just turned 40 kind of put paid to that, because by the third movie he'd be 50, and as I understand it from all the reporting, the producers of the Bond franchise want someone who can play the role for a good 5 or 6 movies. Adam Chung, who writes for British GQ, caught my eye this week with an article following Henry's appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live, where he wore a navy pinstripe suit. And the article is headlined, "Henry Cavill knows the perfect suit for mega stacked guys." I was looking forward to reading it, was disappointed by the end. It's another example of GQ journalists just displaying incompetency when it comes to commenting on anything to do with sartorial elegance. They really don't seem to know what they're talking about half the time. And let me qualify that by taking you through the article. Adam starts off saying, "You've put in the graft, you've got the guns, now get some tailoring that amps it all up." Do not disagree with that. Then he goes on to say that guys who go hard in the gym know that suits can be hard work. Yes, my best clients are the guys who work out, have got massive guns, big broad shoulders, narrow waist. They can never get suits that fit. If they can get the shoulders to fit on an off-the-rack jacket, there's just too much fabric through the middle of the jacket. And if they get something that's a little bit more tailored, they can't get their shoulders in, so they can't win. So most of the time, they've got to go the tailored route. So Adam goes on to say, but Henry Cavill, with his Herculean shoulders and tightened biceps, has proven time and again that he can rock a suit and make it work. Some of the suits that he's worn, I mean, certainly when you look at Henry in The Man from U.N.C.L.E., the remake movie of the famous 1960s television show, he looked absolutely amazing in that. And he has had double-breasted suits actually that have looked fantastic, but by and large whoever has been doing the tailoring for Henry has not been doing the best job that they can. And let me qualify that, because I am going to show you some photos of one of my clients who is a bodybuilder who always looks immaculate, and then you be the judge for yourself. The suit in question, the one that he wore to Jimmy Kimmel Live, which you can see on the screen right now, Adam thinks is a pinnacle of tailoring for big jacked guys. So for one thing, it's single-breasted, which is the go-to style for all the hench guys out there. I kind of agree with that. Adam says double-breasted suits aren't right because they draw the eye across the shoulder line, which is true, and gives off a shorter and wider look. Now, only gives off a shorter and wider look if you're a little bit podgy and you're the wrong side of 6 foot, which Henry isn't. He can totally rock a double-breasted suit and look amazing, and he's proved that time and again before. So, fine, single-breasted, no problem. I'm not arguing with that at all. Adam then goes on to say that the blazer, is it a suit or is he wearing a blazer and contrasting trouser? Make your mind up. But the jacket on this suit has minimal padding to show off how broad his shoulders are. Now, you don't use minimal padding to show off breadth. If a guy's jacked and he's got broad shoulders, his physique's going to do that anyway. You can't hide it. If you look at any pictures of Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, any of those really big guys, Alan Ritchson, who played Jack Reacher recently, he is like the real life version of the Incredible Hulk. It doesn't matter what you do. You can't hide the fact that these guys are massive. Soft or minimal shoulder padding does not help with that at all. And I do totally agree. You do not want to use really thick padding in the shoulders of a jacket for a really big guy, because that's just going to emphasize the shoulder line even more. But I just find this sort of writing really, really lazy. When you're talking about style and you're talking about the way that clothing fits, you're evoking imagery in the reader's mind. And I'm really sorry, Adam, but you've basically just bad choice of words, basically. He says that the jacket is slightly cinched around the waist area to the hallowed upside down triangle physique. Yeah, fine. But if you look at the photo and look at what the tailor's done, the problem that you get with really big guys is they've got massive shoulders and then they go in and they're really, really narrow at the waist. So the drop that you've got to get from the shoulder to the waist is massive. Now, if you're lazy in the tailoring, what happens is what you see in the picture there with Henry is that you get these massive folds of fabric running through the the area where the chest meets the armhole, and that just looks awful. I mean, look at that photo. He doesn't look well put together. It's just a mess in this area of the jacket, and hopefully most of you will agree with me there. What the tailor should have done is done some extra work, basically, just any extra fabric that was gathering as a result of not being able to easily get from the edge of the shoulder point to the waist of the jacket. Some extra work needed to be done to actually remove that fabric from the jacket and give a nice clean line. If you look at this image here of one of my clients, Julian Rose, who is a really big guy, ex-rugby player, absolutely massive across the shoulders, and look at how clean the chest is on his jacket. That's how you do it. Then Adam finishes the article saying, wearing a suit can be tough when you're ripped. True. But that shouldn't stop you from doing it. Also true. So look to Henry Cavill for a tailoring hack and give that hard-worn rig the tailoring it deserves. No, don't look to Henry. Henry, you probably will never see this, but don't look to Henry, especially in this example, for tailoring advice. It looks awful. If you're jacked, go find a tailor that actually wants to put the time and effort in to leave you with clothes that look perfect, that look streamlined, that don't leave like loads of extra fabric just bunching around everywhere. Yes, I agree with Adam. You've worked really, really hard on your physique. You want to show it off. So put yourself in tailoring that complements the hard work you do into sculpting that physique, not making it go to waste. Henry looks like he's wearing a massive sack. So there we go, that's my little rant. I did actually almost get the chance to work with Henry Cavill at the very start of the year, just after Christmas. I had a phone call while I was in Madrid from someone on behalf of Netflix, and they wanted me to go and fit him in January. But unfortunately, the timeline was just too short. Like, they'd given me about 8 days, and I know that I could have done a perfect job. Henry, if you're watching, please hit me up. Let's get together. I want to make some clothes for you because I know I can make you look amazing. Unfortunately, the timeline was too short, and I had to turn Henry down. So yeah, that was my first claim to fame for 2024. I turned down the chance to look after Superman, but I would love to. Anyway, if you're watching this, thank you so much. Remember to hit subscribe, like, and join the conversation in the comments below. Henry, if you're watching this, drop me a DM. I'll see you on the next one. But that was my little rant because I saw that article and really sent my temperature through the roof.